In a many-colored garden, we are growing side by side. We will rise all together, we will rise. With the sun and rain upon us, not a row shall be denied. We will rise all together, we will rise.
Damn, this is hard.
We will rise like the ocean, we will rise like the sun. We will rise all together, we will rise. In our many-colored fabrics, made from strands of common thread, we will rise all together, we will rise. In our many-colored fabrics, made from strands of common thread, we can feed our grain to cattle, and the rich man will be fed. We will rise all together, we will rise. Or we'll feed feed our grain to people so that millions will have bread. We will rise all together, we will rise. We will rise like the ocean, we will rise like the sun. We will rise all together, we will rise. No more will there be hunger in these strands of common thread. We will rise all together, we will rise. No more will there be hunger in these strands of common thread. In the cold of fear and hatred, clothed in dignity we stand. We will rise all together, we will rise. We have pieced this quilt together, linking hearts with stitching hands. We will rise all together, we will rise. We will rise like the ocean, we will rise like the sun. We will rise all together, we will rise. We are spirits drawn together tightly by our common threads. We will rise all together, we will rise. From our children to our elders, from all nations we will rise. We will rise all together, we will rise. May respect for all our differences enhance our common ties. We will rise all together, we will rise. We will rise like the ocean, we will rise like the sun. We will rise all together, we will rise. We will build a global family strengthened by our common threads. We will rise all together, we will rise. We will rise all together, we will rise. Rise all together, we will rise. We will rise all together.
Smiling face, outstretched hand, through disputes, small and grand, we will lay down our guns. We are one. We will in the rage through the war. We have shared pain before. In our grief when it's done, urinin hana, where the earth touches sky. We are born, we all die, where the clear waters run. Urinin hana, when the light touches land, over sea, over sand, when each day has begun, we are one. When the rock wears away and the tide rolls and sways by the moon, by the sun, urinin hana, in our hearts, in the drum, we are one. In the birth of a child, through the fierce and the mild, in our daughters and sons, Urinin Hana, Urinin Hana, where the earth touches sky, we are born, we all die, where the clear waters run, Urinin Hana, Urinin Hana, in the birth of a child, through the fierce and the mild, in our daughters and sons, we are one, we are one, in our daughters and sons, we are one, we are one. Mm-hmm.
Good morning and welcome. I'm the Reverend Lynn Cox, interim minister at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Silver Spring. My pronouns are she, her.
Hola, Reverenda Lynn. Buenos días y bienvenidos. I am the Reverend Katie Romano Griffin. My pronouns are she and ella, and I'm the associate minister here at Cedar Lane.
And I'm Stephanie Williams, today's Cedar Lane Worship Associate. My pronouns are she, her.
I'm Preston Mears, today's Silver Spring Worship Associate. My pronouns are he, him.
It has been another challenging week for many of us as we navigate the deluge of information regarding COVID-19. But the good news is that we are not in it alone. We're in here together online, our congregations transforming and strengthening relationship.
Hello, online viewers, especially the Reverend Jordan Nelson Long and the UU Society of Fairhaven, Massachusetts. Thank you for worshiping with us today. Fran Flieger is today's Cedar Lane pastoral visitor, and Beverly Schnetzler is the pastoral visitor from Silver Spring, and they are both on live chat. There'll be times throughout the service for you to engage with written comments on YouTube, and we also have many TAC members in the chat available for support.
Thanks, Reverend Katie. Today's service is not just a response to the times we find ourselves in. It is an invitation to deepen our spiritual lives through community connection. Even when we are physically distant, our connections manifest love made real. I'm so glad you're here. I'm grateful for the friendship between our two congregations and now our three congregations. I'm glad that we're all ready to try something new, imperfectly, and with grace and humor.
Please know that whoever you are and whomever you love, you are welcome to worship.
Whatever your gender identity and expression, you are welcome to worship.
Please know that whatever your beliefs, background, or immigration status, we welcome you to worship.
Wherever you are, in body or spirit, digitally or physically, we welcome you to worship.
If you're joining us for the first time today, please let Dina Raley and Diane Yonches know in the chat. Cedar Lane visitors are invited to complete the form that will be linked there.
We'll have instructions near the end of the service for a Zoom room, especially for visitors after worship, where someone can answer your questions about either congregation or about Unitarian Universalism in general. We'll have instructions near the end of the
We
service
invite
for a
you
Zoom
now
room,
to greet your
especially for
neighbor by
visitors
saying
after
hello in
worship,
the YouTube
where someone
chat.
can answer
You'll
your
need to log
questions
into your
about
Google
either
account first,
congregation or about
and the
Unitarian Universalism in
UUCSS
general.
choir will bring us back with the gathering song.
We are a patchwork quilt, many colors from many shores. We keep our own ways, but together we make so much more. We are a patchwork quilt, many colors from many shores. We keep our own ways, but together we make so much colors from many shores. We keep our own ways. We are a patchwork quilt, we make so many colors from many shores. We keep our own ways, but together we make so many colors from many shores. Are a patchwork quilt, many colors from many shores. We keep
Amen.
Now that we're together, Preston from UUCSS will lead us in words of chalice lighting. If you have a chalice at home, you're invited to light yours as we light ours here. Let us know in the chat where you are now that by writing together, this chalice or our chalice is lit in your neighborhood, your town, or wherever you are in the world.
May this light warm our hearts with
Now that
light
we're together,
and
this
caring,
chalice or
and
our
guide us
chalice
in the ways of
your
truth.
neighborhood, your town. Please join me in reading the words on your screen by James
May
Villablay.
this light warm our
Love
hearts
is the spirit of this
with light
writing
and caring,
and services of
and
law.
guide us in the ways
This
of
is our great
truth.
covenant, to dwell together, seek the truth in love, and tell one
May this
another.
light warm our
Love is the
hearts
spirit of this
with light
writing
and
and
caring,
services of
and
law.
guide
Let's
us
settle
the
in for a
ways of
message
our
from
great
Dana
covenant, to
Edwards of
dwell
Cedar
together.
Lair.
Seek the truth in love, and tell one
May this
another.
light warm our
Love is the
hearts
spirit of this
with light
writing
and
and
caring.
services.
Hi everyone,
Let's
this
settle
is
in
Dana
for a message
Edwards,
from
the
Dana
intern
Edwards
minister
of
at
Cedar
Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist Church. And I wanted to share with you my toolbox for trying times. So here it is. Here's my toolbox. And this toolbox has been through some times, you can see. It doesn't have a latch anymore. And it's a little battered and worn, but it's still here. And this is the toolbox that I pull out when super stressful things are happening. This is not the toolbox of my daily life, but this is the toolbox that I pull out when I really need some extra support. And some of the extra supports that I usually use, like visiting my friends or going to get a cup of iced tea, or just going shopping. Those tools aren't available to me right now, so I had to pull out my toolbox for trying times to go back to the things that really help me feel centered and grounded when really super stressful things are happening. And right now is really super stressful. So first thing in my toolbox is a blanket. And this could be anything for you that brings you comfort, anything that makes you feel safe and warm and cared for. So I have a favorite sweater I like to wear. I have this blanket. My kids have their Beanie Boos and their stuffed animals. Anything that makes you feel safe and warm and comforted. Now is the time to pull it out. Now is the time to keep it and use it. And now is not the time to decide to give something up that brings you comfort. So now is the time to settle down with those things that make you feel warmest and safest and coziest. So the next thing in my toolbox is a puzzle, and this is just a piece of the puzzle that we're working on right now. And puzzles are something I definitely don't have time to do in my normal daily life. And there's something I only pull out when I'm feeling really stressed out, because there's something that I can complete that has a beginning and an end and has a certain number of pieces, and it's a finite thing that I can control, that I can put, when I put things together and they fit, there's a certain satisfaction that comes with them fitting together. And it's kind of linear. It's not a big problem that I have to tackle. It's not something that's just going to always be there, an adaptive challenge that I have to figure out how to navigate a whole bunch of different things. It's just something I can sit down and do little by little as I start to feel like I need more and more of a sense of, here's one thing that I can get done. So puzzles are great for that. You could have something like Legos, maybe a thing for you that you like to do that's a finite thing that you can problem solve and put together. There's a whole bunch of things. Even I would say playing Candy Crush, matching those little pieces together can just give you a sense of satisfaction and a sense that you can complete something. You can go to the next level. So now is the time to pull out those things in your toolbox. And the third thing in my toolbox is nature. And this is obviously a pine cone. And even though we can't go out and see our friends, we can still go outside. We can still notice that spring is coming, spring is here, and the birds are singing, and the leaves are coming back onto the trees, and the flowers are blooming. And every day, no matter what, the sun rises and sets, and the stars and the moon come out. And those things really give me a sense of reassurance that no matter how strange things get in my world and in the world at large, we still have nature, and nature is still doing its thing no matter what humans are doing around it. So that also brings me, that's also part of my toolbox, and things that bring me a sense of comfort and a sense of grounding in these trying times. So in these trying times, we're also going to find that we develop new things to put in our toolbox. So I wanted to share with you a new thing that the Italian people have put in their toolbox, and that is singing from their balconies. So let's watch this little video. So as we enter a moment of reflection, I invite you to think about the tools you already have in your toolbox and the tools you might add to your toolbox. And as we listen to the next song play, feel free to write your answer in the chat box or to share with someone who might be next to you. So I invite you to do that now. Share what tools are in your toolbox for a trying time, and also what tools you might develop, what tools, new tools you might have for your toolbox for a trying time in this particularly trying time that we're in right now.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Try that. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with bass part now. One foot, one foot, one foot, one foot. Feel free to try it. One foot, one foot, one foot. One foot, lead with love. And the altos. One foot, one foot, one foot, in front of the other. One foot, one foot, one foot, one foot, lead with love. Here come the sopranos. One foot, one foot, one foot, in front of the other. Lead with love. One foot, lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. Look up ahead. The path is there. The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared. I know you're scared. I'm scared too. I'm scared too. But here I am. But here I am. Right next to you. Right next to you. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
Our faith communities are needed now more than ever. Our ability to care for each other and move through these difficult times with compassion, equity, and justice is essential as we navigate this time of crisis. So I invite you to please pull out your phones or your checkbooks and to give generously. I'm going to explain about texting to donate to each congregation, and you'll soon see these instructions in the YouTube chat. UU Society of Fairhaven members can send in their checks to the Society. Cedar Lane members may text to donate, CLUUC, and the amount to 73256, or you can donate online at cedarlane.org/give. Silver Spring members use Give Plus Mobile and designate annual budget drive or text the amount to 833-880-1363. Thank you so much for your generosity. Please raise your hearts and your gifts as we welcome one of the most amazing duos that we've been blessed to receive at Cedar Lane and Silver Spring. Pat Humphreys and Sandy O of Emma's Revolution, live streaming from Woodland, California in the Sacramento Valley. Welcome, Emma's Revolution.
So great to be here with you all virtually. It's definitely a silver lining in uncertain times. So much love to you all. With a mind that holds a plan, with a hand that holds a key, with a heart that holds a dream, love reaches out.
When a family's torn apart, when the street is all you have, when your faith begins to break,
love reaches out. Love reaches out. Love reaches out. Here by your side, bringing you home. Love reaches out. Through the pain your eyes have seen, through the voices in your head, through the war you still endure, love reaches out.
to the man who asks for change, to the mother and the child, to the elder all alone,
love reaches out. Love reaches out. Love reaches out. Here by your side, bringing you home. Love reaches out. Let us take this night to strengthen and inspire. Let love and compassion be the source that fuels the fire. If you find yourself in need,
if you feel when lies ahead,
if we forge a path of trust, love reaches out.
where hope replaces hate,
Where wounds begin to heal, where we all will have a home, love reaches out. Love reaches out. Love reaches out. Here by your side, bringing you home, love reaches out. Love reaches out. Love reaches out. Here by your side, bringing you home, love reaches out. Here by your side, bringing you home, love reaches out.
Much love from us to you all. Let's keep it real.
In the words of Reverend Lynn Unger, through the work of our hearts and the work of our hands, our love is made real. We are grateful for all that we bring and share to make love in our world.
We gather each week not for our needs alone, but to bear witness to our joys, our sorrows, our triumphs, and our disappointments. In this living sanctuary that transcends walls and is made sacred by our presence and the presence of the holy, we come together as companions on life's journey. When I hold up my arms, I invite you to say, we hold you in our hearts. Breathe with me. If you are living through the small and extraordinary milestones of life, take a breath. And as we exhale, let's say together, we hold you in our hearts. If parenting has become your primary spiritual practice, we hold you in our hearts. Taking a breath, filling with love, moving across time and space. If you are mourning a loss, we hold you in our hearts. With a breath, we send and share love with these words. If you live alone, if you're struggling with illnesses seen and unseen, with mental illness or addictions, we hold you in our hearts. Feeling the wave of love moving with our breath, we hold in our hearts all those who are grieving the loss of Frances Dearman, especially aunts, her beloved partner, and family. We hold you in our hearts. LaTanya Cromwell, as you navigate continued health concerns, we hold you in our hearts. We also celebrate with Kristen and Tony Alter, who welcomed a grandchild this week. Kristen, Tony, and family, we hold you in our hearts. Let us take a breath. Our caring extends beyond our faith communities to those whose lives are lost or impacted by calamities in the world. Thousands who've died in the coronavirus pandemic, the many thousands who are infected, those caring for the ill, those seeking a vaccine, all who serve in these times. For our workers who face layoffs, furloughs, and financial hardship, for travelers trying to return home, we hold you in our hearts. May these friends of ours, our companions in the world, all the joys and sorrows that have been shared and all that lives unspoken in our hearts be held by that love that will not let us go. You may write in the chat about a joy or a sorrow or the name of someone that you are holding in remembrance.
Gracias por el amor del
Gracias por la felicidad, gracias por toda mi familia, aleluya.
Gracias por toda la hermosura, gracias por nuestra juventud, gracias por la amistad de todos, aleluya. Gracias por este nuevo día, gracias por nuestra gran unión, gracias por todas las bondades, aleluya, aleluya. Gracias por el amor del cielo, gracias por el inmenso mar, gracias por el cantar del bosque, aleluya. Gracias por nuestra gran unión, gracias por todas las bondades, aleluya, 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 aleluya. Gracias, 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 aleluya. Gracias, 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 aleluya.
Let us join together to sing There Is a Love Holding Me. The lyrics will appear on your screen.
There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all.
In The Velveteen Rabbit by Marjorie Williams Bianco, the wise old horse in the nursery explains to the rabbit about becoming real. He says, "Real isn't how you are made. It's a thing that happens to you. When a child loves you for a long, long time, not just to play with, but really loves you, then you become real." The horse goes on to say that becoming real doesn't happen all at once. You become. It takes a long time. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off, and your eyes drop out, and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to the people who don't understand. I can imagine that after this week, many of us are feeling loose in the joints and maybe a bit shabby. That's real. And love that leads people to care so much is also real. If you are worried about someone, that is love. If you are trying your best to be there for your family or your community or your colleagues, that is love. If you are on the phone with and holding prayer with those who mourn, that is love. If you're making changes in your life to try to keep our community healthier, that is love. And that is real. Unpredictability can be exhausting, yet love endures. Love also gives us life, energy, and purpose. We might imagine that the only things that are real are the things we can touch. In this season of physical distancing, as we practice community care by limiting the avenues for illness to spread, love is made real in ways that go beyond what is tangible. In different times, there will be consensual pats on the shoulder, holding hands through sadness, hugs for people who want them. But in these times, we have to be more creative in manifesting our love for one another and for this world. Some of us are learning new skills for online connection. Some of us are reviving ancestral knowledge, like how to put together a phone tree. Love is real in so many ways that go beyond physical presence. Love is real in the way people stay connected with congregations. Love is real in the way people are creating art and music and stories, the way people are sharing knowledge and wisdom, the way people are using time creatively. Folks have been creating all kinds of things to be pathways of sharing and connection. Silver Springs music director Michael Holmes wrote about his day yesterday. The exhilarating part is the incredible human beings at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Silver Spring, my workplace, who keep reminding me that humanity overshadows all cynicism and that love transcends all suffering and injustice. Love is real in the drawings that children and other great artists are placing in their windows, facing out into the quiet streets where solitary joggers and dog walkers can see them. Love is real when those who must go out for medical appointments or essential work take extra time to be kind to the people they encounter, knowing that everyone we meet is fighting a battle. Love is real among the people who are doing their best to live compassionately. The horse had it right that love doesn't happen all at once. We are always becoming. Love that started years ago is manifesting in this moment of transforming connections. Love happens on an entirely different time. One might even say divine timeline. Love is made real by the people who understand that there will be a future for our communities on the other side of the current moment. We will be changed individually and as a body, but there is a future. Pour love into your friends and family and congregation and community, that the world may grow into different times. Let us hold on to the friendship and love that found its way to us throughout our lives. Let us give thanks for love in this moment, finding a way in new forms and new expressions. Let us have faith that love endures and do our part to cultivate that legacy. So be it. Blessed be. Amen. And now I'd like to know, How is love made real in your life right now? Take a moment to think about it and then share in the YouTube chat or with someone sitting next to you. How is love made real in your life right now? As we reflect, we'll hear the Cedar Lane Trio with Take Down These Walls.
Take down these walls that divide us. Take down these walls so deep inside us. With all your heart and soul, reach out and make us whole. When all resistance falls, take down these walls. Take out this pain that surrounds us. Take out this strain that so confounds us. Let every battle cease. Lift us with joy and peace. When struggles fade and falls, take down these walls. Can you hear us sing? Shouting, praying, rise up together when the heart calls. Take down, break down, take down these walls. We will never stand to be divided. We will never spread the word of hate and fear. Always taking care of one another. Wondrous love is here. Take down these walls that divide us. Take down these walls so deep inside us. With all your heart and soul, reach out and make us whole. Can you hear us saying, shouting, praying, rise up together when the heart calls. Take down, break down, take down, break down, take down, break down. Take down, break down, 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 take
Thank you, Rachel, Kevin, Jenny Lynn, and Jasmine for that powerful anthem calling us to break down walls. Today's reflection was born out of a collaborative effort in these unprecedented times with my dear colleague and friend, the Reverend Dr. Kristen Harper. The poet Maya Angelou wrote, "Love arrives, and in its train come ecstasies, old memories of pleasure, ancient histories of pain. Yet, if we are bold, love strikes away the chains of fear from our souls. We are weaned from our timidity. In the flush of love's light, we dare be brave, and suddenly we see that love costs all we are and will ever be. Yet, it is only love which sets us free." In these unprecedented times, we are all being called to develop a new understanding of what it means to hold love, to practice love, to make love real in our lives, with one another, and in the world. As the Sufi poet Hafiz puts it bluntly, the subject for tonight is love, and for tomorrow night as well. As a matter of fact, I know of no better topic for us to discuss until we all die. 400 years ago, our Universalist ancestors proclaimed that when it comes to our ultimate human destiny, love works. Love works because love is its own reward, its own heaven, not somewhere else far away, but right here on earth. They believed then, as we still do now, not in life after death, but in life and love before death. They regularly faced trouble and physical danger for living their beliefs because many people felt universalism undermined the foundations of an ethical and moral society. An experience of one spiritual ancestor, John Murray, was far from unique. He was preaching one Sunday when a stone suddenly crashed through a window and landed near him on the pulpit. Apparently, Murray picked up the large rock, held it aloft, and observed, "While this argument is substantial and weighty, it is not convincing." What convinced our Universalist ancestors is the belief that human hope and courage are ultimately grounded and surrounded by the embrace of an infinite and unconditional love that will not let us go, let us down, nor let us off the hook. So, how to make love real in the time of COVID-19? Love made real is kindness for yourself and others. Love made real is washing hands regularly. Love made real is physical distancing. I hate saying social distancing. It is feeling the bond, the spirit, whatever you might call it, that kept us together in good times and will keep us together now in hard times as well. Love made real is hope that one day, despite all our failings, we will make it through. Because we are, as Brian Stevenson says, more than the worst thing we've ever done. And to that I add, we are more than the worst thing that has ever happened to us. Love made real means to break down barriers that keep us estranged from ourselves and separated from each other. We're hearing lots of stories these days of how love is being made real in our country and around the world. You may have heard the story of Rebecca Mehra, a 25-year-old professional runner who was walking into a Safeway in Bend, Oregon, after track practice when she heard a woman calling out to her from a parked car. She went over and found a couple in their 80s who had been waiting in the car for over 45 minutes as they were afraid to go into the grocery store. Bend had just had its first case of COVID-19, a death, and the couple had heard the virus disproportionately impacts older people. So Mehra agreed to buy the couple groceries, and so the woman slid her $100 bill and a handwritten list through the crack in the window. Mara went into the store and bought most of what they needed, and then packed their trunk with groceries and sent them on their way. Love made real. Love made real is the spirit that reminds us who we are and what we can be for each other. It is what brings us back to what we have and share with one another. It is the spirit that will not let us go even when we forget to hold that love close. Love made real means to say yes to love over and against hate, over and against prejudice, over and against fear. Fear is the primary force upholding structures of domination. It promotes the desire for separation, the desire not to be known. Love is what overcomes fear. It is what informs and infuses courage so that fear does not destroy us. My conviction is that we have not yet risked enough and loved enough. Now is a good time to start. So let me close with an excerpt from a poem by Brother Richard Hendrick from Ireland called Lockdown. All over the world, people are slowing down and reflecting. All over the world, people are looking at their neighbors in a new way. All over the world, people are waking up to a new reality, to how big we really are, to how little control we really have, to what really matters, to love. So we pray and we remember that yes, there is fear, but there does not have to be hate. Yes, there is isolation, but there does not have to be loneliness. Yes, there is panic buying, but there does not have to be meanness. Yes, there is sickness, but there does not have to be disease of the soul. Yes, there is even death, but there can always be a rebirth of love. Wake to the choices you make as to how to live now. Today, breathe. Listen behind the factory noises of your panic. The birds are singing again. The sky is clearing. Spring is coming, and we are always encompassed by love. Open the windows of your soul, and though you may not be able to touch across the empty square, sing. So though we may not be able today to touch across our screens, let us still sing that love will guide us through the hard night with Cedar Lane musician Jenny Lynn Moyer.
Guide us. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hot night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within yourself. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard nights. Love will guide us through the hard nights.
Thank you, Jenny Lynn. Before the closing words, I'd like to thank the team who helped make today's service possible, but didn't get a chance to introduce themselves. Thank you to the AV teams of both congregations. Thank you to our membership and our pastoral volunteers who have been active throughout the service on live chat. Thank you to our colleagues on congregational staff. Thank you to Cedar Lane DLRE, Tim Atkins, for religious education and worship planning, and for doing an outstanding job as today's technical director. Thank you to Silver Spring Interim DRE, Marsha Thrall, and many thanks to our music directors from Silver Spring and Cedar Lane, Michael Holmes and Dr. Henry Shigrishi. Thank you to all the musicians, including singers who contributed music, with a special, great, big, huge thank you to Emma's Revolution for their live performance today. Yay!
Yay! We'd love for our communities to stay in touch. If you are watching us live, please note that there are 2 options for continuing connections after the service, and both of them are on the Zoom teleconferencing platform. If you are new to both congregations or to Unitarian Universalism, please join us in the Welcome Zoom room. That's meeting ID 587-406-670, and the URL will be on your screen after closing words. If you are a longtime member or friend of any of our congregations that are participating today, please join us at Virtual Coffee Hour. Once we're all in the room, the administrator will assign you to a random breakout group so that we can have small group social conversations. And the URL for Virtual Coffee Hour will also be posted in the YouTube chat. If you are watching us on a recording, please find the websites for each congregation and find out how to connect. We'd love to talk to you. And now let us extinguish our chalices and let us know in the comments that you will carry the flame. So you've got your chalice ready. Please join me in the closing words printed on your screen. Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. May there be peace. May there be happiness in all. May there be peace in all. May there be wholeness in all. May there be holiness in all. May there be peace, peace, peace.
Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Are we done?
Very nice work. Very nice.
Yeah, I second the emotion.